The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. And each week, we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week, we'll start with John Moffat in the town of Mendon. John, what's moving in Mendon?
Well, thanks for having me as always. A couple of updates. First of all, I did mention in a recent article with the Sentinel regarding some signage from businesses that have now been removed, and we did have a postcard that went out to all of our brick and mortar businesses regarding signage, and it did crop up a couple of questions from various people. One is regarding the signs. Business signs fall under the zoning code for business signs, and other signs like garage sales and driveway sealers and political signs fall under temporary signs. So once again, we want everyone to have their First Amendment right, since we have an upcoming presidential election, to express their opinions. However, they do have a First Amendment right, and as long as they meet the requirements in the sign code, then they're allowed to have those signs. Splash Park. We're going to keep it open past Labor Day again this year, kind of see how the weather proceeds in September. But we will keep it open past Labor Day. Mendon Youth Center will be reopening again this fall. And I don't have a specific date, but we will be reopening this fall. And we're continuing to work on the 2025 budget, and that will be presented in the month of September. Another event coming up in October is going to be our recycle event. This year, the recycle event is going to be at the Mendon Community Center, where also it is the Post 664 Legion at 167 North Main Street in Honeoye Falls. That is going to be on Saturday, October 19th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. And just like always, you can bring your electronics, your pharmaceuticals, paper to be shredded, and incidentally, that paper will be shredded on site. And there also will be a rabies clinic, thanks to our town clerk, Michelle Booth. So start gathering your items together, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the recycle event on October 19th. Once again, this year it's at the community center. It will not be on Summel Road. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John. Over to Rick, Village of Honeoye Falls, Monroe County. What's going on there?
Well, thanks, Chris. In the village, work still continues on some of our projects. The County of Monroe is working along with New York State DOT to enhance the crosswalk area at the West Main Street, Monroe, and East Street corners. So that's right at the four corners. We have had, over the last few years, we've had some puddling and water buildup at this location. And it can get a little bit more dicey, if you will, in the winter months when some of the slush and stuff freezes. And with the road being repaved, they felt that they would come in and redo those ADA compliant crosswalk areas right there in that location. So that work is being done now. We finally have some action being done on the stamped concrete work completed in the area of West Main Street, which was part of National Fuels Project. This was not a village project. It's, as I've mentioned before, it's taken way too long, and has certainly been an issue for the businesses and pedestrians in that area. But through some pretty strong prodding, we have measurements being taken, and that work is getting scheduled, and we hope to see that work occur next week, which would be the week of August 26th. Many have asked about the safety cones in front of the post office. That is the final portion of that sidewalk project, and that is to put up a railing on that up-step platform at the base of the steps that go up into the post office. The design is complete, and we are simply waiting for the rails to be built, if you will. They're going through a powder coating process right now, and as soon as that's done, that will be installed, and that will create a very specific entry to go to the outside post office boxes and to use the steps going up into the post office. So we're looking forward to that being done and those cones being away from the post office. As the viewers are listening to this taping, there will be a Good Vibes concert shortly after this segment. On this coming Sunday, the 25th, at 2:30 in the afternoon at Harry Allen Park, the band Thurlow will be playing. This was the one band that got rained out this year during our Good Vibes series on Tuesdays, and they're a really great band. We wanted to make sure they were able to play, and they have agreed to come in Sunday, the 25th at 2:30 in the afternoon. So come down to Harry Allen Park. It's a great park to sit and relax. And then our final Good Vibes concert will be on Tuesday, the 27th at 6 p.m. with the Amy Montroy's Trio playing the finale. And I want to thank once again our sponsors. We've got an incredible group of sponsors that help us with these shows, and we appreciate their support. I did mention last week that the village and the Honeoye Falls Fire Department were awarded a FEMA grant for some new fire gear. I'm happy to announce that today we have received notification of a second FEMA grant to be used specifically for firefighter recruitment. We're very appreciative of this, and while it's not a huge grant dollar-wise, it's a little over $57,000, it will certainly aid in creating ads and other media opportunities to get the word out even further that we need more volunteers and we need to support our emergency response. Lastly, from the village standpoint, there will be an article coming up in the Sentinel this coming week regarding a vote that the Village Board of Trustees took to move forward with dissolving our village court. There'll be an article on that, and certainly we can answer questions further. This will come forward with the opportunity as a permissive referendum. So if people have questions, please look for that article, and then by all means reach out to me at mayor@villageofhoneoyefalls.org, and we can answer any questions you may have. That, if everything moves forward, that would take place at the end of this fiscal year, at the end of this current term, which ends in March of 2025. So we're looking forward to moving that process forward. From a county standpoint, I mentioned prior that we had been working on getting some ARPA funding to our towns and villages. That has happened. There was $6 million allocated for our towns and villages. Really, the funding is going to be based on town-wide populations. So it'll be the towns that are actually getting the funding, which as a village mayor, I have a little bit of an issue with, because we're not on the same type of budget process, the towns and villages. So sometimes that's a little bit of a challenge, but we'll work with the town of Mendon, and whatever funding we're going to get, and I say we, I mean the town and village, but the town of Mendon, I'm sure is going to benefit the whole town. But the towns that I support as a legislator will receive the following. Mendon is getting $99,559.40. The town of Rush is getting $38,203.66. Henrietta is getting $515,541.45. Parrenton is getting $519,734, and Pittsford is getting $335,152.29. And again, that's all based on population, percentages, etc. So that's the $6 million, and that will be divided up between the 19 towns within Monroe County. And again, we certainly expect and hope that our villages, the 10 villages, are going to be taking part in that or being supported in that as well. So that's it for me for now, Chris. I appreciate the opportunity and look forward to next week's call.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Over to you, Mike. What's going on in Lima?
Hello, Chris. Thanks for hosting us again. Just another reminder, September 3rd is the next town board meeting here at the Lima Town Hall. The large topic that will be on the agenda will be the presentation by the Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority regarding the potential water project outside the village. An interpreter for the deaf and hard of hearing has been requested, and we have reserved one. So that will be in attendance also. And of course, the start of the budget cycle and all that, with the tentative budget coming to the town board. As part of that, the accounting firm that services the town provided me with some interesting information about the inflation factors here in New York State. This is from the Office of the State Comptroller. In 2022, it was 2.3% here in New York. In 2023, it was 7.17% inflation. 2024, the planned expected is 6.26, with a projected of 3.3 for 2025. That mixed up, of course, with the 2% tax cap legislation, there's still a fairly large disconnect there between the reality on the ground and what we're going to be able to actually do with the tax dollars. So stay tuned. We will see where this takes us. On the Livingston County side, the Livingston County Board of Elections would like everybody to know that they have been participating in training with a number of federal and state agencies to help ensure election security for us here in Livingston County. The agencies included, but are not limited to, the Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, the FBI, the New York State Executive Chamber, New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, the New York State Police, and the New York State Office of IT Services. The Board of Elections is across the state is really taking this very seriously to make sure that our elections stay accurate and free. And that's all I've got, Chris.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Rick, anything more to add?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Thank you both for being here. Thank you, John, who's not here anymore, but was here before. Thank you all for watching. Remember, this airs every Sunday at 1 o'clock on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page, subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for now. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.